Hey subscribers and watchers, what's up? It's me, Vivs from slidenerd here. In this video, we're gonna take a look at the script tag in JavaScript. First of all, I would like to thank RJ Christie who has contributed these JavaScript presentations, because without him, making videos on JS would be impossible. So if you guys have something to contribute as well, you're welcome to email us at slidenerd@gmail.com. So first, let's talk about the script tag and find out what it does. Now the script tag is what you're gonna put inside your HTML pages to write JavaScript code that you want to write, or if you want to link to JavaScript code which is separate from your HTML, you're going to again use the same tag. So it has certain attributes that contain, or you can say describe, the behavior of what your browser should do with your JavaScript file. So the first one is an attribute called async. Now let's take a look at this weird diagram over here. Now the blue part in this diagram represents the HTML and other stuff that you have in your website, and let's say the orange boxes that you see over here represent the JavaScript files. Now you guys are probably wondering, saying, hey man, what is going on? You just said that HTML and JavaScript are in the same file. Well, it's not necessary. You can keep JavaScript separate from HTML. That will be a lot helpful, and again we will see why and what advantages that's gonna give you in the upcoming videos. But for now, let's just try and understand this. When you're saying that you're loading something synchronously, you're loading some part of HTML, then all the script files are being run and downloaded one by one, and ultimately you go back to your HTML stuff. Now this takes a lot of time, as you guys can notice here in the graph. But on the other hand, when you're talking about asynchronous, what you're doing is you're rendering your HTML page, downloading it, you're parsing it, and in parallel you're downloading the JavaScript files out there, and then they are run once all the files have been downloaded. So this takes less time compared to this one, as you can clearly see. So this kind of behavior, the asynchronous behavior, can be supported with this attribute called async in JavaScript. This attribute belongs to a script tag, so it's an optional attribute. It only applies for external script files. Of course, if you're writing all your JavaScript within your HTML page itself, then it's not going to apply to that. Okay, it talks about external JavaScript files, and then it indicates that the downloading should begin immediately but should not prevent other actions like downloading resources or waiting. In other words, just carry on with your HTML stuff, I will carry on with my JavaScript stuff. That's the kind of behavior you're enforcing when you're talking about the async attribute here in JavaScript. We will be taking a detailed look at the async attribute in an upcoming video where we discuss about asynchronous loading and its benefits. But for now, let's just look at the other attributes. Now what we have here next is charset. Now charset is again optional attribute. It's a simple way of specifying what set of characters you're using inside your script file. Now when you're using external scripts, this comes into the picture if you're using what you call a character encoding in a different HTML file, and you're using a different character encoding for your JavaScript file out there. Otherwise, the charset is not really used. So you have common values like ISO 88591, UTF-8. You guys are welcome to Google these out. These are nothing but characters, and they're ASCII values. Now there are different character sets out there, support different range of characters, and they have different ASCII values probably. So this is all about which character set you want to use. So it would look something like this. You'd say script source equals to blah blah blah. Charset is UTF-8. Now this would be the exact attribute that we are talking about, which is charset. Now let's take a look at the third attribute that we have. It's called defer. Now this is very similar to what we already saw. It's very similar to async. It indicates that the script should be downloaded and it can be executed later in parallel with the other HTML loading stuff that is going on in your web page currently. It's very much like async, but there are certain differences which we will be talking about in an upcoming video where we talk about the defer attribute in detail and we try to figure out what it does. Now it's only valid for external scripts. Again, you cannot have this, and if you ask me whether you should keep it defer for downloading the script later or whether you want to keep it async, well, I personally think async is a better option. Now I'll be talking about why it is in an upcoming video again when we talk about defer versus async, and we'll figure out exactly what's the difference between both of them. Next, let's talk about two more attributes and we'll finish our topic here. There's language, which is deprecated, it's not used anymore, and then there's source, which is optional attribute. It indicates the location, you can say, of an external JavaScript file that contains the code to be executed. Now, like I said, you can have your JavaScript code within your HTML page, or you can have it in a separate JavaScript file in your directory. Now where is that file? That's what you specify with the help of this source attribute that you have here. And last but not the least, you have the type attribute. Type is again optional. You don't have to specify it in the later versions these days, but then it indicates the type of the scripting language being used when you're trying to use script. Now there are many scripting languages, like there's VB script, there's JavaScript, TCL, and so on. So when you say type equals to text slash JavaScript, it means that whatever code is being written inside the script tag is actually of JavaScript. You don't have to specify it, because by default, even if you don't write type equals to text JavaScript, the browser understands and assumes that you're writing JavaScript code. So this is not needed. In the olden days, people used to write this. In fact, I still write this, but then you don't have to write this. So that's the basic stuff about type. So in this video, we have taken a high-level look at all the attributes that we have out there. In the next video, we're gonna work with our first program, which is Hello World JavaScript, and we're gonna try to figure out exactly what it has and what it looks like. So in the meantime, if you guys like what you saw, please like this video, share this video, subscribe to our channel, and let us know your thoughts in the comment boxes below. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a nice day, and once again, thanks to RJ Christie. Bye bye.